Hello and welcome to the Stretching a Dollar for Entrepreneurs show. I'm your host and author Lisa Sims, and I am excited to be with you on this early Monday morning. And I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you are looking forward to a great week. I know I am, and I'm excited about today's show. February is Free Open Source Software Month. So what better topic to have for small businesses and entrepreneurs than talking about open source software. So today we are going to talk about 5 free and open source tools to save your business money. And you may be wondering, if you're not familiar with open source software, what is it? Well, open source software is free for anyone to use and develop and modify. It's not proprietary, such as Microsoft Office or software such as that. You can, if you are technically inclined, you can actually go ahead and modify this particular software. And so it is free to use, it is flexible, and also it has a community behind it. There is a vast open source community that comes together and they help to develop this software. And so years ago, and it's probably still true to some today, a lot of people didn't like to utilize open source software because they felt it was not secure enough to use and that hackers could easily get into the code. Well, that's with any software, whether it's open source or proprietary. But from a small business standpoint, open source software is our friend because it helps us to stretch our dollar and save our money. Because if you can find a free open source software that will accomplish 80% of what you are looking for, you have found your tool. And so today I am just going to present to you 5 open source tools that you may or may not already be aware of. And if you are already aware of these, then kudos to you. And if not, then just jot it down and investigate it when you have some time, because it may just be one of those tools that you want to look into that can help you to stretch a dollar in your business. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the first open source tool. And this one is OBS Studio. And if you do any type of live streaming, you may be aware of this particular tool. If not, then go ahead and jot it down. And OBS Studio is open source software, and it allows you to be able to live stream to various platforms such as Facebook, YouTube. I mean, you name it, it can do it all at one time. So you're not just limited to live streaming on one platform. And so OBS is one of those free alternatives, free open source software that you can use compared to some of the paid versions such as StreamYard and Restream and other software, live streaming software. And so I've tried OBS Studio. Now it does have a learning curve to it, I will say. But as you know, YouTube is our friend. So you can go on YouTube, find some tutorials to teach you how to use it. Now, one of the things I will say about OBS Studio is that it is very processor intensive. And by that, I mean you need to have the fastest computer that you can have, and the most memory that you can have, because instead of the software running in the cloud, you actually install it on your computer. So It is running directly on your computer, and if you don't have a fast enough computer, it can bring it to a crawl if you're trying to live stream to multiple channels. But it is a very flexible tool. It allows you to add lower thirds, and I mean, you can do all kinds of neat things with it to enhance your live stream. As I said, it's just a learning curve that comes along with it, so just be prepared for that. But other than that, if you are looking to expand your live streaming software and you want to be on multiple platforms at one time, but you don't want to pay a subscription, then OBS Studio is for you. So I would highly encourage you to check it out. As I said, I've given you some of the pluses and minuses, so you could just check it out for yourself and see how you like it. You know, there's a lot of churches that use OBS Studio as well, so it does the job, and it does it well. But like I said, there is a learning curve associated with it. So that's our first free and open source software. Our second open source software that I'm going to talk about is Jitsi. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Jitsi. And for all of us, particularly during the pandemic, we utilized Zoom. Everything we did was Zoom. Many of us, including myself, still have Zoom fatigue. But the good thing about Jitsi is that it is free and open source software. So if you do not have the budget to be able to purchase Zoom, then you can use Jitsi. It operates the same. It's free video conferencing software. Doesn't have all of the capabilities that Zoom has, but you can still utilize it to have video conferences with people all over the world and save some money at the same time. They also have a mobile app as well, just like Zoom, and so you can utilize it as well. And if you happen to be on the technical side, then you can find some ways to use it on your website as well. So there's many uses for it. It's easy to use, and it has a community of developers behind it, so it gets updated fairly frequently. And I've tried it out, and I enjoyed using it. Now, I already have a subscription to Zoom, but this is a free open source alternative if you don't want to use some of the other free tools, such as, Google Meet, and there's another free one that's escaping me at the moment. But Jitsi is another alternative that you can add, and I'm not sure how many participants you can have in a meeting at one time, but it is still the equivalent to Zoom. So if you have not tried it out, I would highly encourage you to do so. As I said, it helps you to stretch your dollar in your business, particularly if you are just getting started and you want to save as much as possible. Check out Jitsi. That's just my little tip for you. Just check it out and save your money. And then when you are ready to upgrade to, say, Zoom or a StreamYard, if you're trying to do webinars as well. Now, just realize with Zoom, there's an extra charge for doing webinars. Meetings are free, but when you're doing webinars, that's another add-on that you're going to have to pay for in addition to the Zoom subscription that you already have. So if you have not tried Jitsi, I would encourage you to do that as well. All right, we are moving right along to our third tool, and this one is Libre. Excuse me. Libre Office. And as you know, even though Microsoft Office 365 is now cloud-based, there's still a subscription that is required, and that's still pricey. That's still $100. And when you are a small business and you are trying to stretch every dollar, $100 a year can be kind of pricey. And then depending on how many computers you need to install, have Office on, it can get very pricey as well. And yes, you can utilize the Office apps on your mobile device for free, but the functionality is limited. And so, we have all become acquainted and accustomed to using Microsoft Office. But then there's the Google suite of apps, such as the Sheets and the Google Doc and Google Present and things of that nature. But here's another particular tool that's open source that I want to leave you with, and it is LibreOffice. Now, this particular suite has everything you need. It has your word processor software. It has spreadsheet, the PowerPoint, something else I'm forgetting, but it has everything that Microsoft Office has, and also you can save your documents so that they are compatible with Microsoft Office. And once you download it from the LibreOffice website, it's no different from using Microsoft Office. And so without the price tag, that's the big difference. There's no price tag associated with it. And so it is good to use, again, help you stretch those dollars in your business, and every little bit helps. And so there's not going to, there'll be a little bit of a learning curve, but not that much. Once you've used Google Docs and Microsoft Word, all of it becomes the same. And the same as with LibreOffice. You'll have no problem picking it up and being able to do the things that you need to do. And you're doing it for free. Again, there's a community behind LibreOffice, so you don't have to worry about it going away or not being updated on a frequent basis. It is. And so you have that community to stand on, and it is just a great tool. I've used it, and I would highly encourage you to use it if you don't want to incur that $100 subscription. And I'm talking about that's just for a couple computers. Now, if you have more than a couple of computers, then hey, you may want to look into LibreOffice. It is a good alternative. All right, moving right along to our fourth open source tool. Of course, I cannot leave out WordPress. WordPress is one of those tools that is powering most of the websites and blogs on the internet today. And so I'm quite sure you may have a WordPress website or blog up. I'm not sure, but most of the websites and blogs on the internet are powered by WordPress. It is open source. It has a great community behind it. One of the things about WordPress is its plugins. You can add whatever functionality that you need to via these plugins without having to know any coding. So you could technically put together a very nice website in a weekend. And there's again, tutorials available on YouTube that you can watch if you're not familiar with WordPress. And so it is just a great tool to use. I use it for a lot of websites and blogs, and have created websites for people using WordPress. And so it is a great tool to be able to use, particularly for small and medium-sized businesses. It's open source, so it's free. Now, the thing about it is you still have to pay for hosting, because if you use the actual free version of it, then you're limited into the functionality that it offers. You can't use plugins. Then you're limited with plugins, but if you go ahead and use the self-hosted option, then all of the functionality of WordPress is available to you. And so just keep that in mind. And so if you haven't tried it, I would highly encourage you to do it. If you just want to check it out and start with the free version, then you can do that and check it out and see how you like it before you move to a self-hosted option provided by a GoDaddy or a Bluehost or someone of that nature. But good tool. And also helps give you that professional look that we are looking for as small businesses. Just because we are small businesses does not mean we have to look like we are small businesses. And so WordPress just gives us that ability to be able to look like we're fancy. You know, hey, you may be a one-person operation, but nobody has to know, and WordPress gives you the ability to do that. So I would highly encourage you to check out WordPress if you haven't already. All right, so we have moved right on along, and now we are approaching the final open source tool that I want to tell you about. And this particular tool is called GIMP, GIMP. And so, as you know, the Adobe suite of products are very expensive to use, but they are popular to use. And the Adobe products such as Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator, you know, those are kind of industry standards for graphic designers. And as small business owners, we have to create graphics or pay someone to create our graphics, but it can get expensive. And of course, we can utilize services such as Fiverr to be able to get these done fairly inexpensively, but depending on how many you need and how often you need them, it can still get expensive. And of course, we have Canva, which I love and I use every day. And I just want to give you GIMP as well. Now, for those who are wanting to do a little bit more, then GIMP is a free open source alternative to Photoshop. It allows you to create images and edit images, and it also just allows you to do the same thing that Photoshop does, just more advanced. And there is a learning curve associated with GIMP, but if you need to really do some advanced graphics, then GIMP is the tool that you can use. And, Canva is great and it has a lot of functionality, but sometimes you might just need something a little bit more. And so if you don't want to have to purchase an Adobe Creative Suite subscription, which I think the going rate now is $29.99 a month. And if you happen to, know a teacher or someone, then hey, that's $15.99. But it's still expensive. And so why not give GIMP a try for free? All you have to do is just download it. Now, it's not cloud-based. You have to install it on your computer. And so, but once you get it installed and up and running, then, hey, it is good to go. And so, if you have not tried it, then I would highly encourage you to use it. I use it. I don't use it all the time. I used to before Canva came on the scene, but now since Canva has come on the scene, I use it every now and again when I have something that I really can't do in Canva. And so check it out. And so those are our 5 free and open source tools to save you money. And if you need more, there is a website. I'm going to share my screen here. Share my screen. Give me one quick second here. All right, there is a website that is called opensourcealternative.to, and that is where you can go and you can find any alternative to any particular software that is available. And so check it out. I've been playing around with it, and there's loads and loads of open source software that you can find here, and there's much more than the 5 that I gave today, but I just wanted to give you a few. So go ahead and check out that website. Again, it is opensourcealternative.to, and see what you can find to help you in your business. And so that is it today for the Stretching a Dollar for Entrepreneurs show. I hope you learned some tools that you did not already know. And if you can go ahead and try those out and see if they work for you to save you some money. Maybe you can cancel some subscriptions that you have. And as we know, being a small business owner, our budgets are tight. So you have to save as much money as possible. And so with February being free open source software month, let's make it a point to try to find some open source software that fits our business needs and share it with someone else who may be interested. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And also don't forget to follow us on Facebook as well as TikTok. We are Stretching a Dollar. And then on Instagram, we are Stretching a Dollar Show. And so I am going to go ahead and get out of here for today. I have enjoyed talking about these open source software tools. Being a techie, I always like to talk about technology. And so this was a good show for me, and I hope it was good for you as well. And so join me next Monday as we talk about, I'm not sure, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I believe we're going to be talking about time management tips and tools to help us save money in our businesses. So join me then. Have a blessed week and a productive week, and I will be back before you on Monday. Take care.